Time is never found again. Or is it? By blahblahblah1703, Chapter 17. Today is the day. Both Peter and I are woken up by our stylists. They give both of us sad looks, but get us up and moving anyway. Before Portia and Peter leave, Portia gives me a hug and a small good luck. Peter gives me a much longer hug and a kiss on the head. My bottom lip is quivering as he leans closer to pull a strand of hair behind my ear and to cut my face. "I'll see you in a bit, okay?" he says. I can't make my voice work, so I just give him a nod. He nods back once more, gives me another kiss on the forehead, and moves towards the door to go across the hall to his room. Sinner gives me a small sad smile as he gestures towards the bathroom. I jump into the shower, making it as hot as I can stand. I scrub myself twice just to get myself clean, before I can't bathe again for however long these games last. When I step out, I am instantly dried, and the electrical box once again makes my hair fall perfectly into place. I brush my teeth twice, and then put on unscented lotion, and I find a can of bug spray, 100% DEET to be specific, and I spray that on as well. I don't think it will last very long, but even if it helps a little, I'll take it. Sinner presents me a plain slip dress, and I put it on. He quickly but tightly braids my hair in my signature braid, and we get up and move towards the roof, where we will be picked up in a hovercraft to be taken to the arena. Hamish is waiting there and pulls me into a hug. "Good luck, sweetheart," he tells me. "Any last advice?" I ask him, already knowing what he will say. "Stay alive." I give him a nod and another short hug before I walk towards the rope ladder that will take me up. I am kept frozen by the electrical current as I reach the top. The freezing current doesn't stop me from feeling the tracker going in, though. Once I am unfrozen, Sinner is lifted in, and we are taken off to the stockyard. I eat a piece of avocado toast and slurp down a protein drink, but that is all I can make myself eat before. I do drink as much water as possible, however. Finally we are landing, and Sinner leads me to the brand new launch room. I will be the only one to ever use it. "Okay, let's get you into your clothes," Sinner tells me. A very familiar outfit almost makes me more nauseous. The plain undergarments, simple tawny pants, light green blouse, sturdy brown belt, and thin hooded black jacket that falls to my thighs. Sinner once more pins the Mockingjay pin onto my chest, and I quietly thank him. I then head to the bathroom and brush my teeth one more time and put on a layer of bug spray, 100% DEET, and deodorant. Sinner rebraids my hair, just for something to do. Eventually we're just sitting side by side on the couch, my hand in both of his. Eventually that, once pleasant, but now nightmare-haunting voice calls out that it is time to launch. Still clenching one of Sinner's hands, I walk over and stand on the circular metal plate. "Remember what Hamish said. Run and find water. The rest will follow," he says. I nod. "And remember this. I'm not allowed to bet, but if I could, my money would be on you." "Truly?" I whisper, feeling just the same as I did the first time around. "Truly," Sinner says. He leans down and kisses me on the forehead. "Good luck, girl on fire." I step onto the launch tube, and the glass closes behind me. Sinner pats once under his chin, and I feel myself automatically dropping and pushing back my shoulders as I lift my chin. A much more defiant stance. He nods at me once, and that is when the cylinder starts moving. I close my eyes so as not to be blinded as I enter the brightly lit arena. As the cylinder clicks into place, I can once again look around at the arena. It is exactly the same. A flat, open stretch of ground. A plain of hard-packed dirt. Behind the tributes, across from me, I can see nothing, but I know there is a grain field over there. To my right lies the lake. To the left and back, my woods. As soon as I register that I am once again back in this same hell, Claudius Temple-Smith's voice comes over the speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, let the 74th Hunger Games begin!" The 60-second counter starts immediately. I take in where everything is in the cornucopia. The bow is even further from me than last time. However, it is much closer to Peter. Then, closer to me, and closer to Clove, is a large vest packed with throwing knives. Serrated, pointed, curved, even a few more in the large selection. I see the familiar orange backpack across the way, but there are plenty of packs closer to the mouth, and I know they'll have much better supplies. Packs meant as the ready ones for the careers, the only ones who should be able to go to them and get away from them safely. Peter catches my eye, and I give him a little hand signal we agreed on before we were even reaped. He gives me a nod in return, and we turn our attention back to the cornucopia. We have 10 seconds. 9. I don't take my eyes off of the cornucopia at all. Completely focused. 7. Peter better be okay. I swear if he gets hurt... I almost have to shake myself out of that train of thought. 4. Time to focus, Katniss. 3. I let out a long and low-pitched whistle, startling the careers and a few tributes, who all look over at me in confusion and surprise. The timer runs out and I am off. After all of our sprint training, Peter and I are so much faster. Fast enough that we are already more than halfway to our respective targets before the careers, let alone over any of the other tributes, are even off their pedestals. I barely even slow down as I snatch the knife vest off the ground, way before Clove can reach it. I quickly make my way into the mouth of the cornucopia, and I am grabbing the large dark green backpack that is obviously very full. I don't stop as I run past the opening. I grab one more smaller pack in my reach, this one made to go around my waist. I run straight into the woods across from me. I hear a knife whizzing by my face and automatically move, as much as I can while keeping up my pace. I see it hit the tree just to my left, the entire blade sunk into the wood, so that only the handle is showing. I don't stop. I don't turn around. I just keep running. I run and run and run. Eventually I start slowing down, but I don't stop. I run for about 2 hours at a solid pace before I need to stop completely. I stop crouching behind a bush, and I listen carefully for anyone moving. I don't hear anything, which is why I startle when there is a slight whistle to the left of me. As soon as I recognize it, I am almost beaming. I whistle back, and Peter's blonde curls poke out from behind a tree, about 30 feet away. A quiver thrown over his shoulder, and my bow clutched in his right hand. I run straight towards him, and he lifts me off my feet on the ground in our hug. I just bury my face into the crook of his neck, completely disregarding the sweat, uncaring of anything except him and his safety. Eventually we have to separate, and he kisses my forehead. We are both still breathing heavily from our wild smiles, say more than anything else does. I gesture to our right, and he nods, handing me my bow and quiver as I hand him the knife vest I was carrying. We walk for the next half hour, just quietly, both hyper-aware of our surroundings. I eventually see a large tree with big sturdy branches and a lot of leaves to hide as well. I poke Peter on the shoulder and gesture towards it. He nods and we both walk up to the trunk before I scramble up the branches, picking a high-up fork that can easily hold both our weights. Peter follows me, and when we settle, I once more lean into his side, and he wraps an arm around my shoulder. I look up at him, only to find him already looking at me. He brushes a stray hair out of my face. I'm so happy you're okay. I saw Clove's knife just miss, and I thought... He trails off. I just cup his face. I'm okay. It hit the tree to my left, and by the time she was chasing after me to throw another, I was long gone. I kiss his cheek. He nods, pulling me into a hug and breathing in my hair. When he pulls back, he gives me a cheeky smile and pulls his backpack and sling bag around the front, and I pull my 2 bags out as well. Well, didn't we make it out like bandits? I joke. He laughs and shakes his head. Definitely, we did well. But we still need to see what's in them, Peter reminds me. I give him a nod and gesture for him to go first. He opens the sling bag first. It's kind of a weird texture, and honestly I am almost 100% certain that it is waterproof. Something that might be incredibly helpful in the future. Plus the string straps could be used if needed. In the bag, he finds 2 packs of dried fruit and an empty 16-ounce water bottle, as well as a pair of sunglasses that look very familiar. "No way!" I say excitedly. Peter can tell is faking ignorance, but I doubt anyone else can. "What? Why are you so happy about some sunglasses?" he asks. "Just try them on and tell me what you see," I tell him, already unfolding the arms to put them on his face. "They don't work. I can't see anything," he says, still faking concern. "That's because they aren't sunglasses. They're for nighttime. They help you see in the dark," I tell him, exasperated. "Oh, nice. That's actually so helpful for watches and stuff," he says with a smile. I roll my eyes for him to continue. But before he can, though, the cannons start. 9 shots ring out, echoing through the whole arena. Peter and I confirm with the other that the amount of shots, and both of us nod, raising our fingers in our district salute. I don't know if they'll even show this, but it feels wrong to just keep going without offering some sort of goodbye. We sit in silence for another minute, during which both Peter and I are clutching each other's hands, and he rubs the back of mine over and over with his thumb, calming me down. Eventually, we keep going. We have to. He pulls out a folded piece of fabric. It isn't a blanket, but it's a black top-like fabric. It would be so nice if it rains for a makeshift shelter, or to put on the ground if we end up back in our cave. He then gives me a cheeky grin before he pulls out the last thing from the bag, a decent-sized bar of chocolate. I laugh at his expression. He looks like a kid on Christmas. He quickly puts everything back in the bag, closing it before handing it to me, as he goes into the next bag. He looks so proud of it, and it isn't difficult to figure out why. Hanging off the front of it is a little frying pan attached to a carabiner. I laugh out loud at his expression, which causes him to give me an exaggerated pout, but that just makes me laugh even harder. Eventually I gather myself enough that he can open the bag. He opens the little pockets first. In the first side pocket he finds a Swiss Army knife. It has a knife, a file, a screwdriver, a tiny pair of scissors, a can opener, and a few other things. In the other side pocket are 2 bundles of snare wire, something that makes both of us smile wide. That is going to be so helpful in terms of getting food, even if both of us can hunt with our respective weapons. In the front pocket is a bunch of cooking tools. It makes him let out a little laugh, and I roll my eyes at the irony. After a few jokes about him getting the cooking tools, he shows me what he got. There's a pair of tongs, a fork, a knife, and a spoon. He puts everything back in their places before he opens the large pocket. The first thing on top is a large bundle of black rope, and it is thick and sturdy. Then right below that is a knit hat and an extra pair of socks balled up inside, along with a pair of mittens. Something that will be so nice once the sun goes down. I definitely remember how cold it gets at night in the arena. There is also 2 packs of dried meat, and another pack of crackers with a little thing of peanut butter. The next is a reusable water bottle, one that is pretty large though. It is plastic and probably 64 ounces. I don't know if the ounces measurement, I use different measurements here. We use litres where I'm from, and it just says 64 OZ. So, what can you do? That took up a considerable amount of room in that backpack, but there's still enough space for a folded up fleece blanket, a bar of soap, and a toothbrush with a little toothpaste capsules, something that makes both of us smile. When he puts everything back in his bag, he turns towards me. "Now, I showed you mine. You show me yours." He wiggles his eyebrows at me. I raise my eyebrows at him and playfully push him. He pretends to almost fall off the branch and pouts at me. Eventually we both laugh and I hand him back his sling bag and pull my 2 bags around. He grabs his bag settled on the branch and then turns to face me. I open the belt bag first. It is a tiny little bag, but it is stuffed full. There is a bag of mixed nuts and a bag of raisins right on top. I take those out and hand them to Peter, who takes them with a grin. Right below that is a box of matches, something we don't necessarily need to start a fire, but it will be very helpful and allow us to do it a lot quicker. I hand those to him as well, and he slips them into his sling bag. There are 2 more things in this little bag. a little bundle of string that I unravel to produce a fishing line, complete with 2 hooks, along with another toothbrush and toothpaste capsules. I move everything back into my little bag, besides the matches, and zip it back up, handing it to Peter so that he can put it with his bags. He does so with a goofy smile. "Okay, last bag," I say with a smile, and he gives me one back and a small nod. I have a few more pockets on my bag because it is larger than his was. There is one on the left side and 2 on the right. The left side holds a pair of mittens and a few hair ties, something I really appreciate, because last time I was worried mine was going to break the whole time. The right side has another bundle of snare wire in the top pocket, and in the bottom pocket there is a tiny thing of bug spray, thankfully 100% DEET, and deodorant. Peter laughs, and so do I. This will be very helpful in the next few days. I put everything back and turn the bag so it is facing towards me. There is one pretty large pocket on the front of the bag. In the pocket is a decent-sized bottle of iodine, a very small thing of salt and other spices, something that very much excites Peter, a small thing of hand sanitizer, a few empty plastic baggies, and another bar of soap. Finally, there is the big pocket left, along with a small pocket right on the top that I barely noticed, something I decide to leave for last. The large pocket is so stuffed I am surprised the zipper is able to work. This was definitely meant for a career. Right on top is a folded black thing that is very familiar. I unroll it slightly to find an identical black sleeping bag to what I had the first time. Right below that is a good-sized water bottle. It is between the 2 sizes Peter and I got. The next thing I pull out is a good-sized first aid kit. Peter and I smile wide as soon as we see it. I hurry to open it, almost dropping it as I do in my excitement, but luckily I don't actually drop anything. There is a bunch of bandages and different-sized band-aids, a few wipes and a tube of topical antibiotic, a few aspirin pills and other painkillers, fever reducers and an Insta ice pack, which I think can be reused. There are little swabs to put on the ointment, along with a pair of blue rubber gloves. There are also 2 tiny little packets of burn cream. I don't know if the capital's stuff that works magic, or if it's more like the stuff we have at home. But either way, I am grateful for it. My burn last time sucked. There is also a wire splint, safety pins and a syringe, with no needle. I pack everything neatly up and hand the kit off to Peter to hold. I definitely don't want that to fall as we finish going through the pack. There are only a few items left anyway. There is a rolled up thin plastic poncho raincoat thing. I pull out another bag of dried meat and 2 cans, one of tuna and another can of chicken soup. Finally, there are 2 carabiners clipped together that I pull out from the very bottom. Finally, the very last place is the little pocket. There is only one thing in it, another pair of night vision glasses, something that brings a smile to both our faces. We both talk about our hauls for a little bit. We really did come out on top. These packs were obviously meant for the careers. Nobody else could get out alive for them to use anything in one of them, let alone all 4 packs. We spend a little bit more time in the tree, splitting up our supplies, just in case. Peter takes my larger backpack, and I take his smaller one due to my quiver, and also he's just stronger than me anyway. I clip the belt bag around my waist, full of the essentials we desperately don't want to lose. And Peter has the waterproof sling with the things we want to keep dry. We decide to get out of the tree and do some gathering and hunting before we find a place to sleep tonight. We talk about going back to our cave when we were training back in 12, but we decided to save that until just in case we get separated, or we need to go somewhere else in a hurry. So, when we gather ourselves, climbing down and starting our hunt, we're also looking around for water. I know the river is a good 2-hour walk away, and the lake is even further, plus way too close to the careers. So we are hoping to stumble on an offshoot of the river, or another little water source, something that seems less and less likely as we move along. I shoot a rabbit, and Peter finds a wineberry bush, along with a few edible mushrooms. Then I find a few wild onions. We decided that's enough for the day, and decide to look for water. Peter gives his hand a flick, and I know he wants to make the trip towards the river, because we aren't having any luck with water otherwise. Before we start moving that way, though, we start a quick fire and cook the rabbit, using a little bit of the seasoning to flavour the meat. We don't stick around after we light the fire and finish our cooking. We quickly stomp the fire out and leave quickly and quietly, leaving no trace of which way we were going. Peter and I walk in silence most of the way, both of us eating a rabbit leg and a handful of berries. We put the rest of the berries and mushrooms in our packs for later. We eventually make our way towards the river, and along the way, both Peter and I pretend to be looking for water, just trying to make it seem like we don't know where we are going. We touch moss and feel the dirt. I look for animal tracks, and Peter looks around for all the different geographical hints, as water runs downwards. We both push each other towards the river, and when we first hear water rushing, we both smile at each other and make our way towards it. We are as silent as possible, completely aware of our surroundings. If anyone is going to be near us, it will be around water, and sound travels near it anyway. Peter runs to fill our bottles while I keep my bow loaded and watch his back. He reaches up to my hip pack, unzipping it, pulling out the iodine bottle, and puts the correct number of drops in each bottle before he stands up and we retreat back into the woods. We head away from the river, but also away from where we were earlier. We walk for about an hour before the sun starts to set. It's time to find a place to sleep for the night, and it looks more and more like that will be a tree, which is something I'm not complaining about. I actually recognise where we are, and I almost gawk at the coincidence. It's the willow tree. The one I hid the first night in last time, where the District 8 girl set up her fire. It is too late to pick somewhere else, and the willow will provide the best coverage for us. So we agree to head there. I just hope the girl picks somewhere else, or that she doesn't light the fire. We should have changed enough that that is a possibility. Once again I climb up first and find a sturdy branch. While I am doing this, Peter sets up a few snares a little bit away, and he hides them perfectly. There's no way anyone will find them, something which is good only for us. This tree is obviously old, and the branches got the game maker treatment, making them even more sturdy than they should be. Peter eventually joins me, and we both climb up into the sleeping bag. We slip on the mittens as well, and Peter puts on his hat. He tries to push that on me, but I eventually get him to wear it. We decided not to use the blanket right now. It would be more difficult to make sure it doesn't fall off, and we are both warm in the sleeping bag. I tie us in using the rope and lay my head on the crook of Peter's shoulder. "Go to sleep, Cat," Peter whispers, running his hand over my braided hair. "I'll take first watch." He grabs his night vision glasses, ready to put them on once the sun completely sets. "Okay, but you have to actually wake me up when you get tired," I tell him, trying to be stern, but I am already half asleep. His heartbeat lulling me to sleep, along with his gentle caresses of my hair. "Okay, Cat, I will." He kisses my head and sits back. I just let myself drift off, knowing that even if I am in the arena, with 13 people trying to kill me, I have only ever been safe in Peter's arms. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that. Oh ho ho ho. So yeah, they're in the arena. I love that they grab the other's weapons with a pre-arranged signal. That's brilliant. Anyway, yeah, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.